Hi, I wanted to make this video. It's New Year's Eve, and I wanted to make a video where I was able to just reach out to people that may have experienced a loss this year. Oh, maybe I'm not supposed to have that in here, but a loss of any kind, but most specifically toxic relationship. Um, People don't talk enough about, even when there's a loss of a toxic relationship, if you have to leave the relationship, or if the person leaves you, either way it's still traumatic and it still does require healing. At times you may want to backtrack, you may want to call the person, text the person. Um, it's like the breaking away of the old pattern that you're feeling. So it doesn't mean, God is telling you, oh, the person needs to talk to you, call them, because I'll hear that sometimes in my head. Or I will just wake up and I'll feel like, oh my God, something's missing, or they need me, things like that. This is the types of things that you'll go through in a codependent relationship, especially when there was addiction involved on either side or both. I know this from experience, and I've also been in therapy for past relationships for years. So I don't have a degree. So if you're watching this and you need professional advice or attention, please seek that, or call, a local authority or help if you're experiencing, any type of feelings of harming yourself or harming someone else. Just please reach out and get professional help, because it can get that difficult, especially during the holidays. And I really wanted to make this video on Christmas because for years, I've hated holidays and Christmas, especially because of being in toxic relationships. It's a confusing time. You see everyone around you being happy, having a great time, drinks, be merry, all of that. And you're wondering why you don't experience that, or why you don't feel that. And it's because you're in that toxic bond, trauma bond relationship. And that's what I have come out of. I've tried to come out of it before, previously, and actually the person I was in a relationship actually left the relationship many times before, which contributed to my not being able to heal, because it was an always like back and forth, on again, off again thing. So I was never really able to leave the relationship in a healthy way, because it was always there was always sabotage, there was always mind games. When I would think that we were done, he would just reappear, and we would be back involved again, and it would be just like trying to recreate the first year or two we were together. And that's typically what happens in these type of relationships, these trauma bonding relationships. Now, I want to preface one thing and say this real quick, because I'm not trying to make this a really long video, but I do want to just go over some things that just I had to I'm making this as almost a video diary for myself, to come back to and watch whenever I feel like I'm backtracking or I'm not making any progress. So I'm doing this really for myself, but I'm hoping I will also be able to help someone who might be feeling these things too. That quickly I lost my train of thought. Okay, anyway, it'll come back to me, I guess. But anyway, so holidays are particularly hard. So this past year, I've slowly started to reevaluate what the fuller, bigger picture is, and that has helped me a lot. Oh, that's what I was going to say with tarot. I am in the tarot community. I'm a tarot reader, a medium of sorts. I'm a spiritual leader slash student teacher, so I'm still learning a lot. So I'm learning along with teaching. So I also wanted to say that we get caught up in a lot of this karmic relationship, twin flame, divine masculine, feminine talk. And I made a video about this before, and I don't want to throw any shade on anyone, but it does need to be said. We cannot normalize twin flame relationships in regards to toxic and addictive, codependent relationships. They are not the same thing. And even if your twin flame is, you happen to have a twin flame, it doesn't mean that you should be with this person just because you're meant to. Yes, you might end up with someone who has issues with addiction and otherwise a pretty healthy relationship, and you may have to work through those things. I'm not saying, just drop anyone in your life that has addiction issues, or codependence, because those are things that can be worked through with counseling, obviously. But what I am saying is, if you are involved in a situationship like I was, that started off like a very normal relationship, and it turns toxic, it turns trauma bonding, you do have to separate yourself from it for your own health. Your own health. Your responsibility is not the other person's health at that point. Now, if you're married, you have kids, obviously there's a little bit more involved there, and it could definitely benefit you to seek out couples counseling for the person, try to persuade them to go after their own counseling for their own self, because you have to remember, we are all individuals. Yes, we are part of a bigger collective. We're part of, humanity, humankind. We're all connected. But when you are physically, emotionally, intimately, mentally involved with someone, and they continue to use and or contribute to an unhealthy pattern with you, then it prohibits and inhibits your growth. So at that point, you have to decide if the relationship is worth saving, or if the relationship is worth kind of separating and playing things out and seeing how they go, and then maybe just taking a temporary separation, or just blocking the person completely altogether and moving on. Now, this is traumatic, and this was part of the thing that I had a problem with in my recent separation, because I knew how it felt to be abandoned, and I didn't want to abandon someone and contribute to their pain. However, when it comes to our own healing and growth, we really have to put that first. And that was the tough decision I had to make. And I mean, I knew the day was going to come eventually, because I knew somewhere deep inside that we were not meant to be together forever. It was a lie I kept telling myself, to stay and to deal with things that were not meant for me. And I'm not going to get into the specifics on this video. I don't like all of the, I want to call it like name tag, like type, like, oh, narcissist, empath, blah, blah, blah. That gets thrown around a lot, and sometimes it's not even warranted. I can say that this person was a narcissist all day long. I'm sure I contributed to the narcissism also, because I know that I grew up in a household where there was narcissism, and I was the victim of it, so I'm pretty sure I've been a perpetrator of it as well, because that's usually how it happens. It's usually a pattern, it's usually a cycle, and a lot of the times when we're the narcissist, we're not even aware of it. And I'm not by any means going to normalize narcissism. I'm not saying it's okay to be a narcissist and blah, 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 blah. But what I am saying is, there is a time when we really have to make that decision. Is this contributing to my health, or is this contributing to my continuation in staying unhealthy? So therefore, I had to ultimately finally make a decision to break away from that to focus on my health. I tried to kind of persuade the person I was involved with to get healthy and help them be healthy. I mean, I tried everything. But you can't change someone if that's what they're comfortable with. You have to let them be that. And it's okay. I'm not saying, and I'm not going to sit here and badmouth someone and say, oh, don't deal with this person because they're freaking toxic and they're, narcissist and this and that. Because that's not going to help that individual when I spent a good portion of my life and time and investment with someone who I genuinely loved and cared about. And I still do. And I might for my entire life. And when I think about that, it really, really, really is hard. It really is to not have them in my life. But, what I did have to realize is that the more I was growing, the more we grew apart, because my higher self, my soul, was not okay with the things that I was being forced to deal with in that relationship. And it was a toxic relationship, meaning it was both ways. I am not by any means coming on here and saying I'm some angel and I didn't ever do anything toxic and this person, I'm a victim. I know that I contributed to certain behaviors that were toxic on both parts, and I am not ever going to say that I don't take responsibility, because I know that I need to, and that was another thing I had to come to terms with this year. So I contributed to toxicity as well. It was a trauma bond. It was toxic on both ends. When I really wanted to reach out to this person and I missed him, and I was just like, man, if I could just talk to him, and maybe he'll understand, and maybe he won't hate me, and maybe we can even be friends. I had all these things in my head. I was like, well, maybe we can be friends. I mean, and then I went back and I read old diaries and journals that I wrote about before in this relationship, and I tried that. We tried that. He and I have tried everything to make something work with us. And I finally have come to the conclusion it's not going to be like that. It wasn't meant to be. So I'm not saying that I'll never talk to this person again. A lot of the advice and everything, especially when it comes to narcissistic, those type of relationships where there's a narcissist and you can't change a narcissist and all that. I don't even believe in that, and I don't want to demonize anyone, because I hope and pray that maybe we could even, come together at some point in a healthy manner, even as friends, down the road. And I've said that to him before. He doesn't want to hear that because he's still in the mindset that I'm doing something to him, that I'm being selfish, and he's not there yet. And that's the thing, in the past when we separated, he always got a new person. He always ended up dating somebody right after me and never really did a lot of work on himself like I did. But I'm also older in age, so that's another reason why I have kind of come to a stage of my life where I have done a lot of work internally, and I've done a lot of work mentally, and this year has been a huge leap for me to be able to be okay with not talking to him and not seeing him. But I know truly, I've heard that when you leave a long-term relationship especially when it's been toxic or trauma bonding. It can take at least half of the time that you were with someone to heal. So 7 years, I'm looking at 3 or 4 years of healing. And that seems daunting, to say the least. But I also know that I'm worth it. Point blank. And the reason I'm making this video is because you are too. And hopefully, this can help someone today, because it just finally hit me, and I was doing some meditating, and I was like getting the message that, sorry, that I was actually helping this person. That I was actually helping this person too, by leaving. So I have to believe that that's the case. I have to believe that's the case. And that, they will be okay, and they will, get to their own sense of healing. I wanted this video to be really, really, really real and raw, so here it is. I'm not even gonna edit it because it was something I had to do. But I do wish really the best for him, and I wish the best for anyone watching this that has gone through a trauma bond, toxic relationship, whatever you want to call it, I mean, I feel like when I was younger, and it was like, dating, and, you would talk about relationships, like, there wasn't all of these terms. It was just like, it just didn't work out, and then it's, you're done. You don't have to really talk about it anymore. It's just like, it's over. Like my very first boyfriend, I thought I was gonna marry him, and I mean, we were like 16 years old, and now that I have my own kids and they have relationships, I kind of give them the same advice that my parents gave me, like, you're a teenager, you're a young person, this isn't that serious. But when you're younger, it does really seem like it's the last relationship you'll ever be in, and you're going to be married and be together forever. And we like to think that about every relationship we get into, but it's not always like that. And that's something that is hard to accept, especially when you spent a long time with someone. And I'm going to do a whole nother video on kids, because we both have kids, and although he wasn't particularly close to my kids, sometimes I felt like he might have been a little bit, but his kids were younger, and so I was definitely close. I still am close to his kids, and I still think about his kids, and I love his kids just like I loved him. But it complicates things a lot, and that's a whole nother video. But anyway, what I wanted to get out, and I understand if anyone what did I want to say? If you, this is the main reason I wanted to make this video today. It's the holidays, like I said. This was the first year that we did not spend holidays together. Well, actually, no, we did spend, I think, 1 or 2 holidays not together in the last 6 or 7 years, but most of the holidays we have spent together. And so this was the first New Year's, I think, that we did not spend together in a long time. So I was feeling this all day that I just needed to do this video, and that's when I got this message from God or Spirit, whatever, that I'm contributing to his healing just like he's contributing to my healing by not participating in this toxic relationship anymore. Because as much as I want to talk to him and be with him and have things be like it was, they can't, because I spent this year working on myself, and I don't know if he has. I mean, I don't think he has, to be honest. So that's the problem. And also, I was told, by my guides and talking with Spirit and meditating and praying, that he might not want to do this type of work on himself. He might think that he's fine, and if that's the case, then he is. But I know that when I was looking in the mirror and talking to myself, when I was in this relationship, it was not a good thing. It wasn't happy. I was finding we were more and more apart. We were not being intimate in the way of feeling intimacy with someone. We were both hiding things from each other. Me, more emotionally, and him, I don't know. But, of course, there was cheating on his part, which also was tough for me because there was a lot of trust, lack of trust. And I think he felt the same thing because I didn't share things with him emotionally. So, it's, for me, I was thinking, well, I've never cheated on him, so I'm not the toxic one. I'm, a victim in this. And I thought that for a long time. I treated myself like a victim, which was further preventing me from growing. Because the more that we see each other as, or see ourselves as not having any participation in a toxic relationship, we victimize ourselves, and then we do not allow ourselves to heal from that. And we stay in it longer than we should. In fact, him and I have separated so many times. I said it was off and on. This past summer, I found out that he was living with someone, and I cut off feeling off from him. Like, I shut down, and I was like, I'll never feel the same way about him again. And my soul really felt that. It really did. I literally felt a breaking away. And this was someone I thought I was going to know and be with forever, and I thought that would never happen. So when he wanted to come back around and be involved again and go back to things like they were, I kind of played along with it, but my heart wasn't in it like it used to be. And so I found myself treating him like crap, the way he treated me. And it didn't feel good, because I don't want to treat someone like that. I want to treat someone like I want to be treated, like I want to have fun with them and be able to tell them things and laugh. And, we did that before. There was a big part of our relationship that was fun and good, and those memories were there, so we tried to recreate it, but it can only do that for so long before you start remembering what the reality of the situation is, and it's not the same as the memories. I will also do a whole video on the mental/verbal abuse, because I had a previous relationship that was very similar. It almost mirrored this relationship, and until we fully heal from these types of relationships, we will repeat them. That's the tough thing, and that's what I don't want. I don't want that anymore. I would way rather just be by myself, and I'm okay with that now. It took me a long time. I'm not going to say how old I am, but I'm older now, and I have gained a lot of wisdom from these past relationships, and this one in particular has taught me a lot, and I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for him. I don't wish him any harm at all. I went through a period of being very angry at him because of time wasted, because of cheating, all the things, lies, whatever, but I realized that I contributed to that too, because I thought that's what I was worthy of. I thought that I was not worthy of having someone who would not cheat on me. I thought I was not worthy of someone who would respect me. And now I know that I am. And I will never accept anything less. With all of that being said, I hope that you will watch this video. Whoever does come across it will be able to watch it and get something from it. I really just hope I got my message across, because I know I got very emotional, and I didn't mean to do that. I was hoping I would be able to hold it together and really get my point across, but I needed to hear this message for myself, so I really thought it would help by sharing it with viewers, if there are any who get this message. And I have a few videos on here, but I have an older YouTube account that, it's not older, but I was just starting to get it off the ground, and I had some subscribers on there, and I had to start a whole new YouTube because I got locked out of my Google account. So I'm hoping that I'll get them back if they find this, because I just checked, I don't have any subscribers, and it's making me kind of sad, because I have a lot to say, I have a lot to contribute, and I want to connect with some people that we can share stories and maybe grow together in 2021. So if you want to connect, please like and subscribe. Message me. I don't know, I think you can just comment on here, but I will, if anyone wants to reach out, I'll give my personal email even, and we can connect. But I have a lot to say, and I'm gonna also post some videos about my year of spiritual enlightenment and awakening, and what led to that. I'm actually writing a book also on that, and this channel is Maeve Maiden. I'm Maeve Maiden on here. My Instagram, I'm gonna have to link that and do that at some point, but anyway, that's all other stuff. But really, I just wanted to send this message to my fellow people that may be having a hard holidays, because I know there were a lot of people that had to leave relationships this year. We were all being guided to, because it's really about self-love, valuing yourself, really putting yourself first, and not feeling bad about it, not feeling guilty about it, really knowing that this is something that you have to do for yourself. No one's going to do it for you, and they have to do it for themselves too. You can't do it for them. And I actually, I got a reading earlier this year that even, I remember I got chills, because it's just something I wasn't ready to hear, and I didn't want to hear. And it was like, this person, you and this person have this connection, and you truly love each other, but you might not make it together. You might have to say goodbye to this person. And I didn't want to hear that, and maybe you don't either, but it's something that you have to kind of evaluate for yourself, and see, what the future holds. You never know what the future holds, because stranger things have happened in life. People break up, they come together, and things can change. But I know in 2020 I had to remind myself that I was worthy of more than I was accepting, and I had to teach people in my life that if they were going to be in my life, they had to have the same evaluation of themselves, and also see me as this person that had grown and evolved and was no longer going to accept certain things. You know, boundaries were going to be placed, and if you cross the boundaries, you don't deserve to have my full energy and attention in your life. And that is not a selfish thing. It's not a narcissistic thing. It's not a self-centered thing. It's a self-love and a self-value thing. And that's important. And I pray that anyone that comes across this video will get that for themselves. I pray for everyone that they will come to that knowledge and realization. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. It's a painful, challenging journey, but it is so worth it. And I just can't even say how amazing it feels when you really, really feel your heart and you know that you are going to take care of you and everyone around you with the same love, care, and respect that they deserve. Because each of us, you know, we all have that inner child, and it's like I envision it in my head. We're all inner children just holding hands, you know, just like when you're a kid and you don't see the bad in anyone, you just see the good and the loving nature that we're all born with. So that's what I pray for in 2021. I hope we can all come together in that way. If you are interested in connecting, like I said, just send me a comment. Please subscribe. Be my friend, please. I'm a nice person, really. And I'd be happy to do personal tarot readings also. I do, charge for those, but, I'll be happy to give you my current specials and everything. If you do want a link, just let me know. I don't have a website currently. Like I said, I got locked out of all my Google stuff, so you can just comment below, and I'll give you my personal details, my email, and my Instagram, which I'm setting up a new Instagram. I'm going to be working on that next. So I have one currently, but it's my personal Instagram. It's Sweet Caroline 13. If you want to look me up on there, it's the same, but Maeve Maiden is my YouTube channel. So in any way, I wish you so many blessings, so much peace, and let me know if you want to share a personal story. I would love to connect, like I said, and we can cry together, we can laugh together, hopefully uplift each other, and please stay safe and blessed. Happy New Year. One love.